Here we are in Chapter 2, review exercises numbers 43 through 46. We have distance, rate, and time. Let's review that we have rate times time equals distance is the formula for these two problems. And we have Sean and Brittany. We have two different people doing their rate and time equal distance. So we're going to be using this table that sets us up and helps us to create the equation that will help us solve it. So we're going to do rate times time equals distance for both of them, and then we'll have links with their distance or their rates or their times. So Sean here, Brittany here. All right, Sean and Brittany rode bikes for the same amount of time. Sean traveled at 12 miles per hour and Brittany at 15. So that's something we immediately get to put in. Sean at 12 and Brittany at 15 miles per hour. If Brittany traveled 16 miles further than Sean, how long were they both riding bikes for? So this is time. So the thing we're looking for is time, t. So let's read through it again and see how that will help us. We pick our variable based on that. Even though this traveled further, somebody might say, oh, there's a distance and a distance plus 16. Not quite yet. Sean and Brittany rode bikes for the same amount of time. So our variable t is what we're going to put right in here. Now we fill out the table, 12t. This is the distance that Sean rode for, and Brittany is 15t. Now notice right here, Brittany traveled, that's 15t, equals 16 further than what Sean traveled, and that's a 12t. There's our equation right there. This sentence actually gives us the equation. I mean, that sentence gives us the equation that we have. If Brittany, 15t, traveled 16 miles further than Sean, 12t, then how far along were they traveling? Okay, so minus 16. Oh, no, just take the 12t over. Subtract 12t from both sides. Now we have an equation. We know how to solve this. So this is 3t equals 16. T equals 16 thirds. If we punch that into hours, 3 into 16 is 5 hours and 1/3 left over. So 5 1/3 hours, or 5 hours and 20 minutes is 1/3 of an hour. So there we go, 5 hours and 20 minutes. Alrighty, let's try the next one. Again, rate times time equals distance, and now we have a Rick and a Mark equation. So let's do our little box down here. We're going to have a Rick and a Mark, and rate, time, and distance. Okay, so they drove boats on the lake for the same amount of time. Oh, I hope we're looking for that. Okay, Rick's average speed was 10 miles per hour. We just put a number there. Mark's was 14. Good. If Mark traveled 8 miles further than Rick, how long were they both on the lake? Again, how long? That's t. We're looking for t. So let's read through it one more time. Rick and Mark drove boats on the lake for the same amount of time. So t goes here and t goes here. Fill out the table. The distance Rick traveled is 10t. This times this equals that one. 14 times t equals this one. 14t right here. And so we have, if Mark, which was 14t, traveled 8 miles further, that's a plus, than Rick, and Rick is 10t. So this gives us our equation. 14t, that's Mark, traveled 8 miles further than, Rick. Look at that. So subtract 10t from both sides, and we get 4t equals 8. T is 2. Notice if we stick that back in here, 10 times 2 is 20. He would have traveled 20 miles, and 14 times 2 is 28. And look, he traveled exactly 8 further than Rick. Cool. So 2 hours, we should label that. Good. Number 45, working together. Ooh, remember, if one has a time of A and one has a time of B, the total time is given by the equation the rate he's working, which is the reciprocal, plus the rate he's working adds up to the total right there. So if Molly can mow a lawn in 4 hours, that means her rate is 1/4 of the lawn per hour. And her little brother can do it in 8, that means his is 1/8. Then together they're working 1/4 plus 1/8 is 1 over that total time. So 2/8 common denominator, times by 2, times by 2. 2/8 plus 1/8 is 3/8 equals 1 over the total time. Reciprocal, reciprocal, and time is going to equal 8/3. That's 2 2/3, or 2.67 hours. 2.67, or hours and minutes, that's 2 hours, and 2/3 of an hour would be 40 minutes. Wow, that's how fast they can do it together. And the last one, Ben can clean the whole house in 5 hours. So his rate is 1/5 of the house per hour. But it only takes 2 hours if his son is helping him. We don't know his sons. We'll call that rate 1 over B. But we do know that together they work half of the house every hour. Again, using their rates down here. So 1/5 plus 1 over B equals 1/2. He can do 1/5 of it every hour together with his son. 1 over B gives them 1/2 of it every hour. So subtract 1/5 from both sides. 1 over B equals 1/2 minus 1/5. That's 5/10 minus 2/10 is 3/10. Flip it back over. B equals 10/3. 10/3, that's 3 1/3 hour if his son is working alone, or 3.333, or 3 hours and 20 minutes. 3 hours and 20 minutes. Excellent.